Tonight, when the sun goes down, you are going to flip a switch. Light will flood the room and you will not think twice about it. But for 99.9% of human history, that switch did not exist. When the sun set, the world went dark. And in that darkness, your ancestors did something that scientists are only now beginning to understand. For most of human existence, night was not a time for sleep. It was a time for something far stranger. Something that shaped your brain, your emotions, your relationships, and your sense of self in ways you carry with you every single day. Think about the last time you sat around a fire. Maybe it was a campfire. Maybe a bonfire at a beach. Something happened to you that you probably could not explain. You got quieter, more honest. The conversation went deeper. You felt something like peace mixed with a low-level alertness. You were not imagining that. Your brain was remembering. Anthropologist Polly Wiesner spent years studying the Ju-Huansi people of the Kalahari Desert, one of the few remaining hunter-gatherer communities whose daily patterns give us a window into ancestral life. She recorded thousands of hours of conversation, and what she found shook the field. During the day, people talked about food, tasks, complaints, practical things. But at night, around the fire, something shifted completely. Night talk was almost entirely about other people, stories, relationships, shared histories, the kind of conversation that builds trust across a group, the kind that makes strangers feel like kin. Wiesner called this the firelight effect, and she believes it is one of the key reasons humans developed the capacity for complex social bonds at all. The fire did not just keep you warm, it held the community together after the sun left. It extended the social world into the dark. But there is more to it than conversation. Your ancestors were also doing something at night that no other animal does in quite the same way. They were imagining. They were telling stories. Anthropologist David Lewis Williams has argued that firelight itself, the flickering, dancing light against a cave wall, may have triggered altered visual states in early humans. Not hallucinations exactly, but a loosening of the boundary between what you see and what you imagine. The fire moved, the shadows moved, and a brain wired to find patterns in everything started to see things that were not quite there. That is possibly where the first art came from. The animals painted on cave walls were not decorations. They may have been things the artist genuinely believed they saw, emerging from the stone, lit by fire, real in the half-darkness of the prehistoric night. Your brain still has this. It is called the hypnagogic state, the threshold between waking and sleep where the mind begins generating images without your permission. Every night you cross it. Your ancestors crossed it by firelight, surrounded by people they trusted, and they turned that liminal state into mythology. Now think about what happened when the fire went out, when the embers cooled and the dark closed in completely. This is where another layer of the night reveals itself. Sleep researcher Jerome Siegel studied natural sleep patterns in hunter-gatherer communities and found something that contradicts almost everything modern sleep science assumes. Ancient humans did not sleep 8 hours straight. They often slept in 2 or 3 distinct episodes, separated by periods of quiet wakefulness. They would wake in the middle of the night, lie still, and simply exist in the dark. Some describe the feeling as a kind of expansive calm, a state that was neither fully awake nor fully asleep. Historian Roger Ekirch found the same pattern in pre-industrial European records. People called this waking period the watch. They used it to pray, to reflect, to talk softly to whoever was beside them, or simply to lie in the dark and think. The idea of one long, uninterrupted sleep is not ancient wisdom. It is a product of artificial light. And this matters because what happened at night was not just survival, it was identity. The stories told by firelight became the myths that held cultures together. The quiet wakefulness in the dark became the space where humans processed emotion, grief, and meaning. The night was not something your ancestors endured. It was something they inhabited. Today, you live on the opposite side of that world. Your nights are lit from every angle. Your sleep is compressed into a single block. The firelight is a screen. The storytelling happens alone, to no one. And somewhere in the back of your brain, in the part that still tracks shadows and listens for movement in the dark, something is quietly waiting for the fire to come back. Tonight, when you flip that switch and light floods the room, you will not think twice about it. But your ancestors would have known exactly what that darkness meant.